InObscuria!
Welcome back, my friends, to the InObscuria podcast, a podcast where we exhume obscure rock and punk and metal, and we put them in one of three categories: the lost, the forgotten, or the should have beens. My name, what is it? Oh yes, it's Kevin Williams, and I'm joined today by, you won't believe who's here, it's Robert Harrison.
Really? He's here?
He's here.
Oh, wait, that's me.
I thought it was the guy at the door.
It's just us.
The pizza guy.
Pizza guy. He's famous.
Man, I'm full.
You're full?
We went and had some dinner before we did this podcast. We never do that, and I am completely stuffed.
We're both full of it.
If I just fall out and fall asleep...
Well, we've already got a button. We'll hit pause, go take a nap, come back.
It's true. That's true.
Go walk it off.
It's not like this is live.
Right,
so
right.
If I want to take a little nappy nap, I'll take a nappy nap.
If I fall asleep, just throw something at me.
Well, what's going on with you, sir? What's up since last week? What has taken place that you have to let the world know about?
Other than going and spending the weekend with a bunch of hippies in the woods, watching some trippy fireflies, trying to readjust to civilization after that.
Explain.
So there are these things called synchronous fireflies that happen in a very small area in Tennessee that they all get together and somehow manage to blink at the same time. And it's real trippy. It only happens for a few days a year. And so 4 months ago, we booked reservations because it fills up because of all these people.
You didn't tell me this. You had to book reservations
in
this campsite?
At a campsite because it fills up.
This campsite
in this particular area of Tennessee.
Oh.
And so we thought we'd nailed it. And sure enough, there was a cold snap a week or so ago. So the fireflies were like, you know what? We're going to wait another week. Completely screwed us over.
Oh, no.
So we got to see some really cool ones, but not the main ones. But, you know, friends dropping acid out in the woods and watching fireflies. You know,
friends, quotation marks. Yes, friends. Yes. Oh, the friends were doing
stupid stuff
that
out in the woods. That was fun, though. We had a good time. So, yeah, I needed to get away, and work and everything else is nuts right now. Everything's busy and crazy. The schedules are filling up again. It's like, where's that pandemic when you need a little bit of a break again? It's kind of nice for a while.
All right. I think it's coming back around.
Yeah.
Maybe we take a few weeks off.
Maybe
again.
a little bit. Maybe not a year, but maybe, you know, it was nice having a vacation last year, so I don't get to have vacations that often. There's a lot going on around here, so I could use another, 3 weeks of pandemic. Can we just make that happen?
Oh, it might happen no matter what. There's,
Nice.
There's another strain out there.
Bring it
so
on.
Who knows?
Bring it on.
So tell the people about this contraption that you sleep in. You don't just go out and camp and put a tent up.
No, I did that and was like, no, screw that. That's amateurish, man.
That's for young
Got
men.
me
That's for young men. We're experienced.
It's a camping trailer. It's not an RV because it's a trailer, but it's the Griswold style trailer. So it's 1987.
It is good looking.
It's got actual linoleum floors and mauve countertops. I mean, God, it takes you right back to 1987. My hair in the back starts growing out real fast when I'm camping in it.
Don't you go getting used to that. We're going to take it with us when we leave here next month.
But it's got running water. It's got a fridge. It's got a microwave. I pulled into the campsite and I got cold beer. I mean, what else can you ask for? This thing's been to Burning Man 4 times.
You're not hauling anything anywhere. You're literally just dropping that thing. Walking in.
Now, I have friends take it to Burning Man for me. So it goes cross country, gets dropped off in the middle of the thing out there, and I fly out there and meet it and walk in and go, oh, there's a cold beer waiting for me. Nice.
See, you know how to work these things.
Yeah.
That's what a mature gentleman.
Exactly.
You've learned.
I was never a rock star when I was a rock star, but there have been a few times where you do that. You walk in with a backpack and everybody else is schlepping everything, and you're like, oh yeah.
You don't even break a sweat.
Nah.
You're in the desert.
In the desert. I got cold beer waiting for me. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Now, we do work after that, but,
Right.
As far as, the journey to get out there, there are a lot of people that drive out there. Captain Ryan, for instance, he always drives out there. He pulls the pirate ship all the way out there. I mean, it's work to get out there. Everything's working against you. And I'm just like, nah, I'm flying in.
Maybe we should take it to Nashville with us.
We could do that. We can camp in that instead of a hotel room.
Yeah, it could be like our trailer. Like we're like the talent, right?
Yeah.
We go and we hang out in a trailer in between, when we take breaks.
I'm sure there's a parking lot or some woods we can dump the dump tank.
Yeah, sounds good. And what are we talking about? This is what we're talking about.
This August will rock as Rockin' Pod returns to Nashville. This annual convention brings together rock artists, fans, and podcasters for an unforgettable rock experience. Meet Billy Sheehan, Ron Keel, Ricky Rachtman, Mark Goodman, Matt Pinfield, Don Jameson of That Metal Show, drum legends Carmine Apiece and Vinny Appice, along with current and former members of Winger, LA Guns, Accept, Roxy Blue, and more. Panels, signing sessions, and vinyl and memorabilia vendors, all available to you at Rockin' Pod. Music podcasters from all over North America will be appearing on site for live interviews, networking, and speaking sessions. Got a music podcast? Register and join us. Rockin' Pod Weekend kicks off with a pre-party concert featuring former Tesla guitarist Tommy Skio and his new band Resist and Bite. Plus, Ron Keel Acoustic, Rock United, and a rare hair set featuring many surprise guests. Rockin' Pod Weekend, August 6th through the 8th in Nashville, Tennessee. Tickets, VIP, podcaster registration, and discounted hotel rooms are available now at rockandpod.com. Rockin' Pod, brought to you by DBG Productions, Brad Lee Entertainment, and Incaptia.
You know what that song is? That is the theme song for Potted Ham. That is the Deviled Ham theme song.
The devilish of you.
Yes. So, you know what? You come to Rockin' Pod, you can come talk to us, and we will give you, yes, you, your very own signed, custom deviled ham.
Yes, right. Everybody's going to be wanting these.
All right.
Next time there's food shortages, you're like, nope, look what I got.
I got deviled ham.
Damn right.
And after you open up that deviled ham and puke by eating it, go listen to Pot of Thunder, Cobras and Fire, Growing Up Rock, Slamfest Podcast, Decibel Geek, Metal Up Your Podcast, The Hustle, The Dummy Room, Podcast Rock City, History Science Theater, State of Amorica, Rock Strikes 10, Potter Than Hell, The Podkist, The Kiss Room, I Love It Loudcast, Ages of Rock, The Synaptic Empire, and Monty's Rockcast. Come visit us at InObscuria.com. Like us, share us, recommend us, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and that's everything. Except for, also, leave us a review. Don't forget to leave us a review, people. It's almost, third quarter here. We need a review.
We need a quarterly review.
We got to have our quarterly review.
And you might want to tell us that you left it so that we know you left it.
That's true. We actually don't really check for them. So if you leave us a review, maybe
just send a little note.
Send a little note because that would require work, and we don't really like to do
our
that.
staff is not on top of things like that.
Not really what we're all about. Well, hey man, I am getting ready to go on vacation.
About damn time. You need one too.
Getting ready to take some much needed time off. I will be gone. When this podcast actually releases to the world, I will be at the beach.
Nice.
And I will be in a happy place.
Not just any beach.
Not just any beach.
The most beautiful beaches in the world.
That's right.
Redneck Riviera.
No.
You're not going Redneck Riviera?
No, I'm not going to Florida this time.
Oh, I thought you were going down there.
No, usually I do go to Florida.
Oh, okay.
No, this time I'm going to South Carolina. I'm going to be on the Atlantic side. I'm going to the Isle of Palms.
It's all right.
It's nice.
It's brown,
still nice.
Brown
That's
sand,
where it
brown
is.
water.
It's brown water. But you know what?
But it's called Isle of Palms. That sounds really nice.
It sounds great. So we'll go with that. But you know what? I won't be working. Nope. So I'm going to be very happy. And because of that, because I need a break very badly, I had to sit down and meditate about what we're going to talk about tonight. So
yoga.
Yeah, I just, I had to get in the zone to really think about what we were going to talk about.
What's
I did some
noise?
deep meditation as I prepared a journey to the beach.
Is that a motorcycle?
I had visions of large seabirds wearing plaid vests and little teeny Doc Martens. And I could hear the calls of these seabirds, and they told me exactly what we're going to be talking about. No, they sounded like this. Ska! 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 Ska!
That was close.
Something like that.
Okay. Pick it up.
Pick it up.
Is that what they said?
Pick it up. They said, pick it up. Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Sky birds.
Yeah, so that's what I heard anyway.
Sky birds.
So, you know what we're talking about? I'm going to the beach. What do I listen to when I go to the beach?
Birds.
I listen to a little bit of ska. Oh. So today we're going to talk about episode 82. This is a zombie beach party. Ska, core, zombies, and more.
Ska core.
So yes, it is summertime, and the beach, when I go to the beach, what I put on when I'm out at the pool, and I drive everybody else nuts, is I listen to ska and reggae, and that's beachy to me. We live in the southeast U.S. We're really close we're in Georgia. We just drive down, we go to Florida, and you keep driving from Florida, you'd be in the water.
Yeah.
But if you kept driving, you'd be going to the islands. And what kind of music comes from the islands? Well, we got that ska and the Jamaican reggae. And so it's real close to home.
Everything's on the upbeat.
Exactly. And everything is pick it up and it's just good stuff, man. So that's what we're going with today. We're going to do a little ska. I'm going to tell you my story, how I got into ska. Some people may be turning the podcast off right now. They may just be like, fuck
Skip.
that.
Skip.
But I'm going to tell you, this is good stuff, man. So what is your history with ska? I thought of one person when I thought of doing this, and I have a feeling that's the name that's going to come up.
All right. Yeah. So our dear beloved friend Eric, who has passed on, introduced me to ska. Never knew what the hell that was. And, all of a sudden going to his house, that's what he's listening to. We're working on cars together. That's what he's listening to.
Yep.
Going trips, everything. And so eventually we gave him a tribute in one of our songs. And it's kind of had a little bit of a ska beat towards the end of it. So the whole pick it up. I didn't know what they were talking about until I started listening to it. I'm like, oh my God, they actually do say that.
They do. Almost every song.
You got to just put that in there somewhere. But yes, that's really my only access to it. I never really listened to it that much, but it has a fond memory because we miss Eric a lot. He was an amazing person, but when I hear that, it takes me to the insane times of our late 20s, early 30s of being in a band.
And Eric was just a crazy dude, man. He would do all sorts of he would make you laugh because he would just do these things that he might get hurt, but still he's making you laugh, so he doesn't care.
Exactly.
He was a true original.
Yeah, absolutely. There's nobody like him, and it's amazing that he made it as long as he did. Just leave it at that.
That is true. He's the first person I thought of as well. But he and I actually bonded over ska. That's how when we first got introduced, we were talking about ska bands that we like. So where does ska come from? So this is interesting. It was the original Jamaican music. It was a predecessor to reggae. Did you know that?
I thought it was a derivative of reggae, so it actually predicate
in the 50s was when ska was introduced, and basically what they did is they took the Caribbean calypso music, they mixed it with American jazz and R&B, and that's how you got ska, and it was kind of upbeat. Because it had that calypso thing. So when you mix all that together, that's what you got with ska, and then they transitioned to another style called rock steady, and then you got reggae in the 60s. So it kind of transitioned, but there were three distinct styles. They're very similar, but you can tell the difference, and you'll hear it today. Reggae is very mellow, laid back for the most part.
For the most part.
Now reggae's all over the place. Reggae can be like dance music,
rap,
now, hip hop, and but the origins of it was very much island music. So, and the interesting thing about ska is it was always centered around the bass. So whether it was a stand-up bass or a bass guitar, so it was always about these walking bass lines, and then you had all the other instruments basically playing upbeat, percussive type of, basically playing the offbeat. So in the 70s, it was resurrected in the UK, which is kind of bizarre. So you had ska in Jamaica, in the islands. In the 50s, a lot of people from Jamaica and from the islands moved to the UK, brought the music with them, and by the 70s, this thing called two-tone came out, which was a mix of what was punk then in the 70s and ska, and you got some really, really cool music out of it. And that's kind of the first era that I heard. Mainly for me, it was the mainstream stuff. So it was Madness, if you remember Madness, and to some extent, the Police.
One Step Beyond.
A lot of, exactly. One Step Beyond, Madness, and Our House, but also the Police. If you think about, they kind of incorporated reggae, they kind of incorporated ska into their pop music and did it really well. But that's what introduced me to this kind of style, although I didn't really know what it was. And then you had other groups come out of England at the time, out of the UK. You had the Specials, who kind of were the ones to create two-tone. They created the name two-tone. And then the Selector and the English Beat, which in England they're just called the Beat. Here they're called the English Beat. You know how that works.
Yep.
And I remember hearing, specifically as I was a child, and maybe you'll remember this, I remember hearing the song Little Bitch by the Specials being played during the dance scene during 16 Candles. So I watched 16 Candles all the time. My sister loved that movie. She was, older than me, and she was really into that when we first had HBO when we were kids. And we used to watch that movie all the time. And there was all this music being played, Oingo Boingo, and all this 80s music. But there was this one song, it was a ska song, and I never knew what it was. I found out years and years later it was the Specials. And I always loved that one song. So I loved what it was, but I didn't know what it was. And then also, I always heard a little bit of ska in The Clash. So when I first started getting into punk and I got into Clash, I wasn't really sure what that was. Again, I wasn't hip to what this sound was, but they were borrowing from ska a little bit as well. Now in the 90s, I heard about this band called, early 90s, this band called the Mighty Bosstones. And the way I heard about them was through a series of ads that they had with Converse, with shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you remember these or not, but...
Yeah, the shoes? I remember the shoes.
Well, you remember the shoes, yes. Well, they did a whole like Chuck Taylor thing with the Bosstones and introduced me to them, wearing their plaid and their Chuck Taylors. And then they had commercials and I would get a little taste of the music there. And they had a lot of ads and magazines. So it got me intrigued just to find out who they were. And so that was kind of the first ska band that was what they called third wave ska. So it moved from ska to two-tone, then to this third wave that came out in the 90s and went really big in the 90s. So the Bosstones kind of mixed SoCal style punk with ska, even though they were from Boston. But I thought it was awesome. And I just assumed that it was kind of an anomaly. I didn't really know much about it. Again, we didn't have the internet back then, kids. So you didn't know, you couldn't just go and search things. However, when I heard Fishbone and I heard 24/7 Spies, probably within 6 months of me hearing the Bosstones, then I started to realize this was a thing. And even though Fishbone and 24/7 Spies were more of a funk mixed with ska, mixed with everything in the kitchen sink, I knew there was something there and I liked it, because they just kind of dipped into ska. But I really didn't get into what I would consider third wave ska until the most mainstream of mainstream hits, and that was No Doubt.
Mm-hmm. And that was another one that took me by surprise, because I didn't consider them ska. I didn't know what ska was, but a lot of their mainstream hits were either slow or, to me, didn't sound anything like ska until you went back. And
they were very alternative, but there was something about them, and it took me seeing them on MTV Live. I was like, oh, they're a ska band.
And seeing her with Sublime, like a retro YouTube video from way back, who knows when that was, but you realize their roots were absolutely in ska.
Yeah, I mean, they really got big with their third album, and their first two albums were all ska, and their third album was more of an alternative pop kind of thing, which is when I got introduced to them, but that's what kind of got me into it. So I started researching and I dug in, and in the 90s you had a lot of bands that got some pretty good success. You had Goldfinger, I don't know if you remember them.
Here in my bedroom.
That one's a great song. I love that song. You had Operation Ivy, who became Rancid. Rancid was huge. Sublime, you mentioned. They had some huge hits. Suicide Machines, the Voodoo Glow Skulls. These are all the bands that I bonded with Eric over. Real Big Fish, great band. Sell Out with Me, oh yeah. You had Less Than Jake, the Aquabats, Mustard Plug, Buck 09, Save Ferris. And Save Ferris is cool because I actually saw them. This is one of the coolest shows ever. I saw them play in Salt Lake City, actually in Park City. I saw them at the bottom of the Olympic snowboard halfpipe during the 2002 Winter Olympics, because I happened to be working those Olympics for my company, and I had all access, and I could walk anywhere I wanted. I was like,
badass with that pass. Look at me. That's right.
And
I can go
I
over
walked
there.
right to the bottom of that halfpipe after the Big Red Tomato won, and Save Ferris played at the end of the event, right there at the bottom of the halfpipe. Yeah, just to cap it off. And I was like, this is the life.
See, I'm not really into snowboarding because there's no way in hell I could do anything that coordinated. But the fact that they've got rock bands coming on right after that's the kind of sports I love. They're like, let's take it seriously, but not too seriously.
Exactly.
Let's just have a good time.
They had their event, and then literally there was a stage set up right at the bottom.
There. And just, time to party.
Hey, as soon as you guys are done, we're going to rock it out.
Kick it on.
So it was great.
You don't see that in figure skating.
No. I think it was Save Ferris, and I think Lit played as well. It's so good, man. It was awesome. This stuff's still going on. It kind of died down for a while. That was big mainstream success. Mighty Bosstones had a couple of hits. Huge. A lot going on with several of these bands. Sublime. I mean, they're still big. People still love that band.
I mean, they tour with another guy named Rome.
I know. And, that guy, the original lead singer, died. I think that was their third album that got so huge, and he died before it even came out.
Yep.
But it's still one of those albums, they get put on the pedestal kind of like Nirvana for the 90s, which is impressive.
They're an influence now. They're not just a band.
Right. And I still see their T-shirts at Target, so...
He was amazing.
Yeah, it was great.
When you go back and you watch their live footage and the stuff that he was doing, how fast he was doing it and singing. And
I don't know if you heard this song, but in 2018, there was another hit, a ska hit, which came out of the blue. It was called She's Kerosene. Have you ever heard of She's Kerosene?
Well, I mean,
we had a song.
It rips off my song.
We had a song called Kerosene as well. When I first heard that song was out, I saw it on iTunes, and I went, wait a minute. And I listened to it, and it is a ska band called The Interrupters. They had a hit in 2018.
I don't remember it.
It's really good. It's really good. Really good band, and that's sort of what they're expecting now. There's a whole bunch of new bands again.
I think it's coming again?
There's a fourth wave coming right now. So
I'm
we're
okay
right on
that.
the crest of that
I'm
fourth
okay.
wave. So let's dig in. I want to play some stuff that I'm going to be listening to at the beach. I want to see what you think, Robert. Maybe pick it up and do some. And we're going to start off with a band called the OC Supertones, the Orange County Supertones. And this is a Christian ska band, which is its own genre, apparently. I didn't really know this. I picked this up back in 1997 just thinking they were a cool ska band. I had no idea they were a Christian ska band or that was even a thing, but apparently it was. And it also features, not the song that I'm going to play, but this band at one point featured a drummer who just happened to be the guitarist that played on the Last Swear album.
What?
So Ethan Luck was the drummer in the OC Supertones. He is also the co-host of Metal Up Your Podcast, which is a Metallica podcast. But yeah, Ethan's the guy we went to play guitar on the Last Swear album. So
glad he's doing okay and staying off the streets.
Yeah, a little tie to this. And he's played for several bands, but this was one of his bands. He was originally from California, so before he moved to Nashville. So their second album, that's what I'm going to play from, is called Supertones Strike Back. And it was kind of a surprise hit. It actually was on the Billboard Heat Seekers, and it was a top Christian album. Christian bands got it made, man, because they have their own charts.
Yes, but they've got a big audience, too.
And they have a built-in audience in a way.
Some Jesus bank.
So, yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, if you go that route, you've got two ways of potentially getting some success. They were a number 3 in the Billboard Heat Seekers and number 2 in the top Christian albums of that year, which was 97. So
we could have faked it for a while, but they would have seen our van and went, no,
we don't believe
you heathens in that van you're driving around.
So here's a weird fact I found out about this band. This proves that they're a Christian band. This is very bizarre. In 1999, they played for the Pope's visit to St. Louis. Pope John Paul II. The OC Supertones played. I bet he loved it. I can only imagine how much he
Because he's got that surround sound in that Pope mobile.
Exactly.
He's got a bitchin' sound system up there. He's got 2 12-inch pile drivers in the back of that trunk.
I was like, why?
Yeah.
What?
Twerking in the Pope mobile.
They had 8 full lengths. They went from 95 to 2005. Took some time off. I think Ethan was in the second incarnation of the band that went from 2010 to 2017. I'm going to play from that second album. This is the one I got into, and in fact, I think most of my cuts today are from 1997. That's when ska was blowing up, and that's when I was really getting into it. So you might recognize the beginning of this song. I'm pretty sure they lifted this from somewhere.
Okay.
Check it out. Orange County Supertones. This is Supertones Strike Back.
Supertones strike back like his father. You hit, we hit back harder. Like I said, 7, I am not afraid to be a martyr. California sun and skies, slip inside us, so we crash. Every goes up through the house with everybody outside. Gonna get down like we did the day before. 50 more people be ringing at the door. Team against team, let's even the score. If there's 50 people out there, we got room for 50 more. And we're moving, when we get grooving. We're fresh like salsa and we're bent like Jubin. Your cranium's cracked from a shoulder attack. Protect your neck. Supertones strike back. We want this whole better be a big lola. So we play the sky and it makes us feel better. God's got love for us, so we got love for you. It's your life, so what you wanna do? So come up, put a glide in your stride and a dip in your hip. Respect the hiccup, cause if I roll down my lips, I spit when I rap, so love and fluff and I sing. Can't give me gifts, just look at my ring. Look less at me and look more at Christ. His grace has saved me and this grace will suffice that. So I jump for Jesus, it's Jesus who breathes it. Let's get out like beavers. I don't care who sees us when we hop to hip-hop. Jumping into a cross, no we can rock. Sensible look at me so far. Just hip-hop, not stop. It's really hippity hop. Push like a rock, get shot, stand and knock your block. You can't stop this, you can't block this, you can't get this. So please don't miss this. There's a fan in the room, back to the love of my back. love for us, so we got love for you. It's your life, so what you wanna do? We want this whole planet be a big love letter, so we play in the sky and it makes us feel better. God's got love for us, so we got love for you. It's your life, so what you wanna do?
And I think one reason I like ska, you don't find a lot of 15-minute long ska songs.
No, there won't be any of those.
Okay, and refresh my memory. Sublime. Did they ever have horns?
They did. They didn't have horns in the band, but they recorded with horns.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Not in every song. Not like a lot of these ska bands who had a full horn section. I don't know how ska bands stayed afloat ever.
How do you
they
make
had
money?
like 8 or 10
12
members.
people in a band. You can't all fit in one car with all your crap.
You don't get paid enough.
Nah, you got paid
to
like
sustain
$26 a show, basically.
I don't know how they did it.
Yeah, but I like it. So we've talked about horn sections in ska bands. I know it's not a rule, but I really do like it, because I don't get to hear a lot of horn sections. So, most of the music I listen to, they're not prevalent, let's just say. So it's always refreshing to hear that. They all tend to sound, the horn sections themselves tend to sound very similar. So there'll be something to look into if, people try to...
Yeah, can they differentiate
stylistically?
themselves?
Because that sounded just like Fishbone, Sell Out, which sounded like so you can put something out there that sounds like all these other ska bands. So how do you differentiate yourself? So they had heavier guitars in this one. Obviously did a little tribute to Leonard Skinner at the beginning.
Yes,
right.
that was Leonard Skinner.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Or
Metallica.
Metallica. Yeah,
whatever.
they're the same thing. The bunch of guys.
Some southern rock band from Sweden.
Sweden. But that's, I guess, I tend to gravitate towards a little heavier side of stuff, because it was closer to the punk rock roots versus the reggae roots on the other side.
And that's what drew me in.
Not roots, but influences.
Right. And that's what drew me in the 90s, was because I was into all of this stuff. I was into punk, and the fact that I had never really been into horns, even though I had played trombone actually in high school, but I sold it to buy a guitar. And I don't know, I just thought it was cool because it was just a different sound, and yet it was punk at the same time. So you kind of got this cool island thing, yet it's rocking.
And I would play trumpet in high school, immediately quit when I went off to go to college and realized, okay, this isn't cool. But I didn't have any influence like this.
Right.
I just thought trumpets were in jazz bands.
Exactly.
And, jazz music I like, but it was at the time when you're in college, you don't go to a party and go, hey, you want to hear me play trumpet? But I thought, oh, they like guitar. So I switched to guitar. But if I had known that, who knows? Who knows? I'd be touring with a ska band, making $26 a show.
Yeah, exactly. So when I was talking before, I said that two-tone, the second wave of ska, really was a UK thing. But there were some bands in the States. And one of those bands is a band called the Toasters. And they are from New York City. Now, they were formed in 81 by an Englishman who had relocated to New York. So he brought the two-tone with him. But he kind of based this band on the beat and those original two-tone bands from England, but they kept going. And not to say that the two-tone bands didn't keep going too. A lot of those bands are still around and still touring to this day as kind of a legacy act. But the Toasters, even though they began in the second wave, they didn't really get famous until the third wave. So this is kind of the band responsible for bringing the ska sound to the States, which influenced the Bosstones and all these other bands to kind of adopt this style and add more hardcore punk to it. They were a two-tone band, so they didn't get into hardcore punk. They're more on the original two-tone side, but they still kind of rock, and they did it for a long time. And they also were very influential in that they started a record label called Moon Ska Records. And when I started really getting into ska, about every other thing I picked up that was ska was on Moon Ska Records. This was the
primary
label.
record company.
Yeah, this was the label in the 80s and the 90s. And like I said, they don't really do the hardcore punk blend. They more blend with pop music, rap, R&B, calypso. They kind of throw everything in, but they didn't really have their success like mainstream success until the late 90s because of all the bands that they influenced. And they kind of branched out in their album called Don't Let the Bastards Grind You Down in 97. And I'm going to play from that album. The other thing that's kind of cool about this band is they actually had a song in the 90s on a Nickelodeon show called Kablam. They were the featured song in the show, which,
Okay.
hey, that's kind of cool, I guess. They had 10 studio albums from 1987 to 2007, and I'm going to play them because whenever I'm at the beach, I always listen to this song. This is my favorite Toaster song. It's called Today's a Good Day. This is from D.L.T.Y.G.B.D. Don't Let the Bastards Grind You Down, 1997.
Well, life is more than what men make of it. I've always said, don't put your trust in the wrong person, or you'll wind up dead. And if you need to find another way to ease your mind, be true to yourself, and in time everything will be fine. Today's a good day to live up to my reputation. Today's a good day to free us up and scar the nation. No matter what you say, the groove will continue to play, until the day we are repaid. Here I sit thinking about the road that we have traveled, and every other man still hopes that we become unraveled. I do not claim to know the answer to every single question. All that I can really say is we are on a worldly mission. Today's a good day to live up to my reputation. Today's a good day to free us up and scar the nation. No matter what you say, the groove will continue to play, until the day we are repaid. Today's a good day to live up to my reputation. Today's a good day to free us up and scar the nation. No matter what you say, the groove will continue to play, until the day we are repaid. Chickadee boom boom boom, chickadee boom boom.
How can you not like that song?
And I don't know. You can try to find out what it is about this music that is just so. That was happy, but the bass line in that one.
Bass line's badass.
That was badass. And so I'm not a bass player. Don't know crap about playing bass. I'm the guitar player. I always need to be the center of attention for everything. But that bass line, he's so good, he can just stop.
Oh, yeah, it was sparse. It was
Very sparse.
Yeah, only played it when you needed to.
Exactly. And like, that's a freaking skill. Because like I said, if I was doing that, I'm thinking, walking bass line through the whole thing and showing off and slapping the bass. No.
And he had an octave pedal on it. Did you notice that? So you had like this 2 octave
I didn't
down
pick that
thing
up.
going on. Yeah, you had this.
I was fascinated with the stops and starts. Like I said, that's true talent, is knowing when to just not play and let all the other music just come to the forefront.
Yeah, let it breathe.
Let it breathe. Yeah,
that's what you don't hear in modern music for the most part.
I was horrible at that. I played every second. It's like I was getting paid by the second. So I had to play everything, all notes, all throughout the song. So that's a special skill to have. I respect that so much. When people have that much confidence in their playing, they're like, no, I'm not even going to play right now. Chickadee boom, boom, boom. There's a chickadee boom boom just for you. Yeah.
So this music does not only come from the UK and Jamaica and the States.
I didn't realize English people were that happy. That was just a happy song, by the way.
Well, they're from New York.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm
He's
getting
an Englishman.
He was transplanted. That's right.
Yeah, and he actually lives in Spain now. So he dissolved the record label, Moonsky Records, in the early 2000s. He relocated to Spain, started a new label, and still distributes and does all this stuff for ska bands. And the Toasters still play from time to time, but he's no longer in the States.
Living the life.
Yeah, just living the life. Doing what we all should do.
Move to Spain.
Taking it easy.
Oh, that too.
And that's what I'm going to be doing when you listen to this, people.
Well, that's what I need a vacation from. I need a vacation from my goofing off and doing stupid crap. It's not working.
But where was I going with this? Oh, yes. We're going to talk about a band from Mexico. Did you know they had ska in Mexico?
Well, they've got that polka-y sounding music that's right there on the edge of ska.
Calypso kind of comes from that as well, right? So, yes, we are going to talk about, I love this band. I'd only discovered them last year. So what happens is I go to the beach. I listen to my ska mix on my iPhone, and inevitably I have a few beers. And
40 ounces.
And then I start searching iTunes for, let's find some more ska music that I don't have. And then before I know it, I've purchased like 10 albums on iTunes, I just add them to the mix.
Your wife's complained about that, I know.
Yeah, well, whatever. So this is one that I found. That's why I work for a living. So this is what I found from Mexico. This is a band from Tijuana, formed in 1997, now based out of Mexico and Canada. They are a U.S. sandwich. They
don't get too close to us.
Right?
Don't want to be in us, but they want to be near us.
This is Los Kung Fu Monkeys. Love them. Ordered a shirt. Should be on its way. So we are going to play Los Kung Fu Monkeys, and this band is just amazing. They do half their songs in English, half their songs in Spanish, and
it was educational.
Mix it up and whatever.
That's how I need to brush up on my Spanish.
Whatever they feel like doing. Looked them up just to find out a little bit more about them. They're actually recording right now, so we're going to get some new Los Kung Fu Monkeys soon.
I can translate the name if you need me to.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
I've been studying.
It has something to do with Chinua.
Yes.
So they have toured, or they have played stages with the Addicts, an old punk band, NoFX, Misfits. They've opened for the Misfits. They played with Moby. Weird. Yeah. They've played with the Dropkick Murphys, Fishbone, Madness, the Toasters. We're going to hear the Toasters a lot today. A lot of these bands play with the Toasters because I guess the Toasters were very influential. They like to work. That's all they did was tour. Great mix of ska and punk. Basically what this band does is tour all the time. So I can only imagine that COVID times were really tough for these guys because all they do is tour. They have played in over 15 countries. And they're going strong again. They have 5 albums since 97. And like I said, they're recording right now. I am going to play a song called Taking It Easy. This is off of Rudeboy Rockers that came out in 2015. Los Kung Fu Monkeys.
Everyone's taking it easy. Sun's coming down and I'm taking it easy. Taking it easy. Taking it easy.
Dude had a lot of bad things that can happen to him, but you know, just taking it easy.
Just taking it easy. This is what I will be doing
Yep.
when this comes out. I will be
Taking
taking
it
it easy. Words I should really live by because I don't always do that.
Yeah, this should be a 7-day-a-week thing.
Really should.
Yeah, neither one of us are good at that.
Oh, well. We're taking it easy right now.
At some point, we'll be dead. We can take it easy then.
Exactly. What'd you think? Could you tell that they were Mexican?
No,
Not at all.
Not at all. Not in the slightest.
Not in this song.
No.
Other songs, yes.
I can tell they're from California, but not really.
Yeah, not even.
West Coast, maybe.
Yeah. We can go with that. Tijuana. All right, so let's talk about a very unique ska band that mixes ska with soul and R&B.
Skull. Oh, no, that ain't.
Skull.
That doesn't sound
Skull music. No, that'd be a different thing. This is a band from D.C. called the Pietasters. And they're another band that I discovered in the year 1997. And straight out of college, this band in 93 bought an old school bus. They toured the nation. And as soon as they got done with the tour, what happened? Everybody quit except for two guys. So they had their fun. The bus must have broken down.
We got to pay for the bus, man.
Yeah. So, no unity there.
Uh-huh.
Same story, I believe, in Another State of Mind. Go look it up. Great movie.
I was going to say, it sounds like the movie that you've talked about
yeah,
before.
Exactly right. It's the same thing that happened to this band. So what do? The two guys, they put a new band back together, and who did they catch the attention of? None other than the Toasters and Moon Ska Records. And so the Toasters hooked them up, gave them a little distribution, and by 95 they were touring with the Bosstones, and then Tim Armstrong from Rancid heard them and went, I would really like you to be on my label, Hellcat. So he stole them away from Moon Ska Records, and they signed to Hellcat in 96, and that's when they started releasing these albums that got a little more attention. So in 97, they were on my radar. They played the Warped Tour. They headlined with Reverend Horton Heat. I think they did like a joint tour, which was a great band. I don't know if you remember Reverend Horton Heat. They
Talk about a fun concert.
That's a fun show, yeah. So a little rockabilly and ska, that would have been a great show. They played with the Ramones. And then you remember the Cherry Poppin' Daddies?
Yeah.
The whole swing punk
dance thing.
Yeah. So they played with them. Bad Brains, Bouncing Souls, Dropkick Murphys, Murphy's Law, Fugazi, Flogging Molly. I mean, they just played with everybody. Great band, unique. I think when you hear this, you'll go, oh, this is different. Mm-hmm. It does, because you were saying earlier that it kind of all sounds the same, especially the horn sections. But this one's a little bit different. See what you think. 6 albums from 93 to 07. They've had several deaths in the band, so they're still touring, but the lineup's changed quite a bit because some of the key members have passed away. So I'm not exactly sure why I didn't dig in that deep. So let's just focus on the music, huh? So we're going to play Out All Night. This was a single back in 97. This is what I first heard from them, and I thought it was really cool. This is the Pietasters from their album Willis.
Tell the truth, but I never lie. I don't need to bow to you. You're just passing by. I never wanted to be the one you bitch and moan and come home to. But as long as you look good, I come back to you. Get inside my troubled mind with all of your dread. Sometimes I think I was blind, not before we met. I never wanted to be the one that you depend on for your life. When you cry, it smells like soup. Sounds like Shona night. Never be my wife. I got it right each time I know I just might. You make me. It's just the sight of you tonight that makes me. You're an evil little girl. I'm a twisted man, tearing through your perfect world. Make you understand. I never wanted to be the one you bitch and moan and come home to. But as long as you look good, I come back to you. To the things we do. night that makes me I'm gonna stand all night.
Very similar, but I can't put my finger on why it was different. There was more melodic.
It's got that little bit of R&B kind of mixed
Yeah.
in a little bit. That song was probably more commercially viable maybe than some of the other stuff on the album.
I could see that.
That goes more in the Motown vein with that upbeat thing going on. So,
But yeah, the horn section was a little more melodic in this one. Did a lot of unison stuff with his vocals, so it just made it more. I don't know. Like I said, I can't put my finger on it. I've listened to it a couple more times, but
love that growly, raspy voice, very boss tone like.
that sounded familiar too.
Yeah. So I mentioned earlier that, well, so far I think everything's been from 1997, but we're gonna actually play something that's newish. So this is bands are still doing this, and I want to bring them to the party. This is a band that released an album in 2020. The band's called 2:30, and the name of this EP was Ska Punk Daily. So this is one of those that I searched on the old iTunes when I was having a few Coronas, and band from Orange County. They've been playing ska, rock, and reggae, kind of a mix, since they formed in high school in 2002.
Damn.
That's awesome to be doing it that long. That would be like if we were in the band, because that's kind of when we were doing Big Jack, and we were still going.
Still going to this day.
And they're still going.
You
and
guys would have killed me a long time ago. Strangled me.
Would have imploded.
Yes.
But great band. They have a great female singer. They've toured with Real Big Fish and the Toasters. There's the Toasters again. They've supported other national and international acts like the Aquabats, Less Than Jake, RX Bandits, which I didn't mention that one. That's one that I've seen that's kind of straddles the line between reggae, emo, and ska. Interesting band, and we're not going to play them. They've also played with some of the two-tone bands. They've played with the Selector and the English Beat. So they've done some pretty cool stuff for, a bunch of friends that got together in high school in 2002 and are still going to this day. Now, they've only released 2 full-length albums. They have lots of EPs and other things, singles and things like that, and they're recording now, from what I could tell. But they had an album in 2009 and another one in 2017. What I picked up was an EP just to check them out, and I really dug them, so I'm going to go back and dig in a little further. But from what I understand, they do have another full-length coming out in October of 2021, so check that out. And I would consider this band part of the new fourth wave that's getting ready to crest, because there's a lot of these bands now when you go out and search for them. So let's play a little 2:30.
I was 13 when you handed me that Sate CD, and it changed my life immediately. Took me to Stray Cat, taught me to dress cool. You told me Aaron Barrett went to my high school. With a face like when all the guys wanted in. Oh, Heather. I was 13 when you handed me those damn Bandit CD, and it changed my life immediately. I don't blame Mom, I don't blame Dad. You were the big sister I never had. And now you're gone, I don't know where. I hope this reaches you out in the air. Took me to ska shows in the heyday. People ask me how I got this way. It was you. I tell them you. Oh, Heather. Oh, Heather.
All right, so hope you dug some new ska, but let's jump back to the year 1997. We can't stay away for too long. And this is a zombie beach party, so we had to invite this band. This is a satanic ska band from New York.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we had to invite them to the zombie beach party, right? Can't do it without them, so...
Devil sax.
Exactly. It must be truly satanic to be a ska band. And this band is called the Mephiskapheles.
The what?
The Mephiskapheles.
Mephiskapheles.
Yes. Mephiskapheles. Mephiskapheles.
It's like gefilte fish.
Gefilte fish. Yes, their debut album was called God Bless Satan, and they were originally on their own label, but they got wider release after being licensed by Moon Ska Records for national distribution in 95. Now, a video for their song Doomsday got a little bit of airplay on MTV, so you may have heard this band. This is great, this is so satanic. The earlier version of this demo had been widely heard on television in New York as the soundtrack to a fitness center commercial.
What?
Nothing says Satan like a fitness center commercial.
Like yoga pants, and working out.
Well, it was 97, so what were they wearing?
Spandex.
Then? Yeah, spandex.
It was
spandex shorts.
What was it? Dude sweating to the oldies. Richard Simmons. Aerobic. That's what it was. Aerobic workout in spandex. That's what 1987 was.
Nothing says Lucifer like that.
Mylar spandex.
So they did a national tour with a British pop icon, the Buzzcocks, in 97. And then in 98, this is fitting, but very bizarre. I think a lot of fans were like, what? They toured as the opening band for the heavy metal shock rock group Gwar. Yes, they had a ska band opening for Gwar. Are you familiar with Gwar?
Yeah, and I'm just speechless that that's what the opening. But I could see it. I mean, it's silly metal.
What?
It's
this is
silly.
Serious satanic music.
No, not the ska band, but Gwar.
All of it.
Yeah, all of it. So
it's
I
all
could
silly.
see it.
It's all fun.
The ska's fun.
Yes.
I could see that fitting. Yeah.
It's
now that
fun,
I think
people.
about it.
So I know that Jeremy Zamora, our good friend Jeremy, with me, he loves this band as well. So here's a little shout out to Jeremy. I'm going to play a little Mephiskapheles. They released 3 full-length albums from 94 to 99. They were part of that third wave of ska, and they've kind of reformed and started putting stuff out again. So they've had 2 EPs since reforming in 2015. Who knows? Maybe they'll come to a town near you. This is Mephiskapheles from Maximum Perversion. This is Sate.
Standing with the deeds that warm upon your hands, a Levi showing your underwear brand. Your anger comes as no surprise, faking the right to terrorize. Slow and look straight, jacked on Jews. Boots on your feet, they're just a little loose. Confrontation, still station. Hope you said goodbye at you. For you, they're trying to, you know they will. They will. Welcome to the wild story, it's so mediocrity. Stories not your own, but like the sea. So truth told with lies, manipulation, titillation. Oh, how no you have. Consciousness in space, and know you're firing what you victim like, so you never, ever expected him back. A sense of justice, adrenaline rush.
Is it finished now?
It's finished now. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't sure.
A couple pauses there.
Put my drink down, pick it back up again, put the
So
drink down.
evil.
That was, yeah. I mean, even if you hadn't described it, I would have felt a little on edge, that guy's voice.
Love that band. Just so different
And the
bizarre.
raging guitars at the end. Love that. That you don't hear them. You hear more of a clean sound on a lot of ska music, but when you kick up the distortion, it tends to draw me in a little bit more.
Right. Well, let's continue with that because we're at this zombie beach party. Let's bring in a psycho ska band. Do you know there's such a thing? We're going to play some psycho ska.
So there's Satan's ska.
So there was satanic ska.
Satanic ska.
We've
that's what I
had
was
Christian ska.
Yeah.
Now we're going to have psycho ska.
Who
knew?
You put those two in a room, you end up with psycho ska.
Who knew? So this is a band from St. Louis, Missouri, which is where all bands come from, right? That are ska. I don't know,
Sure.
weird. So anyway, these guys met in high school, and they were in music class number 330. So the name of the band is MU330. There you go. Bad name. They've been described as Weezer meets the Specials, which is probably why I like them so much. One of my favorite all-time ska bands. I have all of their releases. They've had 6 full-length albums, and they're all just fun, and I really dig this band. This is probably the one that I listen to the most of all the ska bands that I have. They had an album on Moon Ska, just like everybody, but then they went to another label that we haven't talked about from the West Coast called Asian Man Records, which is run by an Asian man. Makes sense. And they were another big label in the 90s. They were run by Mike Park, who was in one of my bands that I discussed with Eric when I first met Eric, called Skink and Pickle. So whenever I think of Asian Man Records, I think of Eric and Skink and Pickle.
You want a skink and pickle?
You want a pickle? First time I ever met Eric, he offered me a pickle when I walked in the room.
Ever since then, that's your memory of Eric was like, hey, man.
Hey, man.
Want a pickle?
He looked at me so seriously. He was like, hey, man, you want a pickle?
Eric, just so you know, Eric was a very generous person. So when you went to his house, he felt like he needed to offer you something as a gift. And so he worked for Planters, the company Planter that does all the food. So he had this closet full of all the samples and stuff they would just give him. So he was just like, you want a pretzel? You want some Cheez-Its? And then finally, it was, you want a pickle?
You want a pickle?
And so it was his way of being a good host, but it was just bizarre gifts that you would walk in and you didn't know what you're going to get, but he was going to be a good host and give you something. So yeah, that's where the pickle comes from.
So we'll play this one for Eric. This is a song called Ireland, one of my favorites. And again, MU330. This is off their album Crab Rangoon that came out in 1997.
Those are the drunkest sounding trombones I've ever heard. I mean, that's exactly what I felt like this weekend. But that was just like the record's kind of slow, or the tape is dragging. That's what I was thinking. The tape is dragging a little bit on that, but it was purposely written like that. That song's just not edgy ska, but it's kind of the swaying around ska. You've had a few beers and you listen to ska music. So
it's like garage ska.
Garage ska, yeah. There's other ska that's just edgy. It's really fast and hard and heavy.
Yeah, they're looser, not quite as tight as all the other bands.
Oh, no. They're just throwing it out there, having a good time.
Yeah.
But I saw the Weezer reference, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can sort of hear that. So it is time for the headliner of our Zombie Beach Party. This is the last song, and I wanted to play one of these new fourth wave ska core bands.
For Was. It's the fourth wave of ska. For Was.
Oh.
I just coined a new phrase.
How about that? We have an acronym.
Yes.
Who knew? So I'm going to play this band, Kill Lincoln, and
that's not nice. That is not nice.
Well,
he was a nice man. Wow.
They're from D.C.
I'm offended.
A ska core band from D.C., and I wanted to play a song that was more punk than it is ska. This band is a ska band, but this song happens to be a little more on the punk side. Mm-hmm. But I also wanted to play something that was super upbeat and a good closer for the night, because this is a beach party, by the way.
And we ate way too much.
And this band's had 4 full lengths since 2011. This came out during COVID, so I kind of get why it is the way it is when you hear it. And dude, just listen to the badass guitar lead that is in this song. So check this out. Kill Lincoln. This is Well Spent Wasted from Can't Complain 2020.
So the next time I'm remodeling part of the firehouse and I need to peel the paint off the walls, that's a good song to play while you're doing that.
They just wiped everyone out at the beach party.
Like, clear the room. We're going to play. If it weren't for the horn section, that would just be badass punk rock, punk metal, whatever you want to call it. But you throw in the horns, you got metal ska, or whatever you want to call it. Punk metal ska.
Yeah,
hard
ska core.
Ska core, yeah.
What's cool about that is you don't expect, because you're almost, a quarter of the way through the song before the horns even come in. So you're really in punk world. And then the horns come in. And what's amazing is, as full throttle as it is, the horns still stand out above and are separated from the guitar so that you can hear every note they're playing.
Well mixed, and it
Super-
doesn't take away from the metal. It doesn't make it
Super
softer.
high production.
Yeah, it's still hardcore metal, punk, whatever, hardcore score, ska score,
Ska core.
ska core. Yeah, you say that 5 times fast, but it didn't take away from it though. It's just it made it even better.
Absolutely.
Nice little icing on the cake there.
How'd you like that little lead? Tasty.
It was tasty,
licks.
tasty morsel.
Yeah. So that's what I got for you, man. It was a
Very
party.
nice.
I need to get back and drink another beer. I need to get back to the beach.
You do go to the beach, sunscreen. You pasty white man.
Yes, I need some sun very badly. Vitamin D is
Your family's got some
much
a
needed.
good tan, but you are pasty white.
not so much. So, well, I'm going to get back to it, man. I got to go jump in the pool.
Yep.
So I will see you next time when I get back. Maybe. Yeah,
just whenever you feel like coming back, don't rush it. We'll
Okay.
be here when you get back.
will do. Later.